Hey there. Sorry about the slightly running late here. In the process of posting notifications that the stream is about to begin. Welcome to Rusty's Sudoku stream. I am Rusty. We are doing two puzzles today. One of them is a easy puzzle, which does not mean it will be easy to solve or fast to solve. It should be easy to solve, but fast is a different issue. The second puzzle is a medium puzzle, which we can expect to be a little bit more difficult to solve. We'll have to see how that goes. And put that up here. That way I can quickly bring up that so that as I'm solving, when I get the first puzzle solved, I can quickly note the time that it took me to solve it. I will try to have my chat someplace where I can actually see it as I'm solving this puzzle. It's a little bit of a problem in that it is currently a web browser in my or on my screen that gets dropped behind other windows on my computer. All right. And so, for example, at the moment, I can't see it because, I can't see it. All right. 20 seconds if this checks out okay. If it doesn't check out okay, I get to spend some time correcting it. But if you want to grab a screenshot once the clock starts ticking right up here, that would be great. Then you can see if you can solve it while I'm solving it, and maybe you can do it faster. So here we go. All right, we got 20 seconds now. I've got the chat window up where I should be able to see any messages people send my way. And we got 10 seconds left for you. 5. All right. We are at 25 seconds in. We got a 1 here. One of these two will be a 1. That's a 1. And that's a 1. That means that's a 1. Turns that into a 1. So all the 1s are taken care of. How about 2s? I get 4 possibilities here and here. Also 4 possibilities here and up here. The others are all open. Looks like 5 and 6 possibilities most of them. One of these 2 is going to be a 3. Got a 3 picked there. I got 3 possibilities here. One of these 2 is a 3. And this is going to be a 3. All right, 4s. We've got one of these 2 will be a 4. This will be a 4. Got 3 possibilities here, 4 here, and 2 possibilities here. That means we're actually down to this one being a 4 here. All right, how about 5? We got a 5. Well, this one's going to be a 5 as a result. We get 3 possibilities, or 2 possibilities here, and 2 possibilities here. This one's a 5, so this becomes a 5, and this is a 5. That also locks in this 5, and we're on to 6s. Well, that's a 6. So one of these, this one's going to be a 6 because I got a 6 here. This is going to be a 6, making that a 4. We've got 3 possibilities at the moment for a 6, but actually we only got 1 because this is going to be a 6. That makes this a 6. One of these 2 will be a 6. Can't be that one. That looks like we've got a problem. All right. These 2 cannot be 6, so one of these is not a 6. That's not a 6. So we're backing things out. I have to back those out. I have to back out the 1s. Nope, I got the 1s right. So here's the problem I've got. One of these 2 has to be a 6. I've got 3 possibilities for a 6 here. None of these can be a 6, so one of these 3 has to be a 6. I've got 1 possibility for a 6 here, which means this has to be a 6. All right. This has to be a 6 down here, means this is a 6. There we go. That's a 6. Now, 7s. As a matter of fact, I've got 6s everywhere now. So 7s, one of these 2 has to be a 7. One of these 2 then becomes a 7. Up here, one of these 2 is a 7, which locks in this 7. Oh, and yes, we do get to make that into a 4. And this is going to be a 7, which means this is a 7, and that's a 7. 8s, we got 2 possibilities for an 8 here. This gets to be an 8, and this gets to be an 8. One of these 2 is an 8, and one of these 2 is an 8. Not a 7, though. And that makes this into an 8. This becomes an 8. Locks in an 8 down here. And that becomes an 8. All right. I think that's an 8 everywhere now, other than these 2, which are earmarked. However, this is going to be a 7, because that can't be. So that makes that an 8, and that's an 8. And that locks in both 7s and 8s. How about 9s? I've got a 9 here, so one of these 2 is going to be a 9. One of these 2 is going to be a 9. And that's going to be a 9, which locks in that one. One of these 2 is a 9. Down here, one of these 2 will be. That means that's going to be a 9. And we get to put a 2 here. That means this gets to be a 2. That's a 9. This becomes a 2. 9 and 4. 4 and 2. 2 here. Nope, not there. 2 here. 1, 2, one of these. 3. This is going to be a 4. That becomes a 4. Let's make that into a 3. And we've got a 3 locked in here. This becomes a 2. That makes this a 2. This a 2. Hey, 6 minutes and 39 seconds. All right. So, how did you do on that one? That would be roughly, well, 19 seconds if we subtract just 20 seconds. Take blame for being a little late on that. But let's see what we can do for the second puzzle. All right. Over here, I start filling in here, 7, 8, and 5. 8, 6, 2, 5, 8, and 7, 9, 5, 1, 2, 9, 3, 1, 5, 9, 6, 1, 3, 2, 4, 8, 3, 4, 8, and start set up there. I'm going to make a non-trivial change my preferences. So I'm going to turn off earmark warnings. The other thing I really want to do is automatically turn off automatically clearing check marks or earmarks. What that's going to do is when I put a number in a field, it's not going to clear the check mark for me. I have to do that manually. All right. It's going to slow things down a little bit, I think. It caused me some confusion from time to time, but I will get notifications if I grab or if I install or insert a number that's wrong. Because, for example, we get this 8 here. If I drop an 8 in one of these squares, for example, if I drop an 8 in this cell, it will turn red even if I've got those. But I'm not going to get a earmark warning for that one being marked as an 8. So we'll demonstrate that in just a moment here. Maybe the next time I do a easy puzzle. We'll see. All right. Checking. You get 20 seconds again. And looks like it's good. So we have another 10 seconds now. And Cody's sitting by the TV. He wants me to pay attention to him. He's not knocking things over. All right, there we go. All right. So I know this one's going to be an 8. We already saw that here and here. It had to be up here. One of these two is going to be a 9. And we get one of these 3 is a 9. One of these 3 is a 9. We got a whole bunch of possibilities over here. 4 possibilities for a 9 here. 4 possibilities here. 3 here. All right, how about the ones? Well, we get 2 possibilities for 1 there. We get 2 possibilities for 1 there. These are possibilities. I've got 3 possibilities for 1 here, 4 up here. That looks like all the 1s, 2s, at least all that I can earmark. So 3 possibilities for 2 here, 2 possibilities here, 3 possibilities here. We've got 2 possibilities up here, 3 possibilities here. Down here, I've got 2 possibilities as well. But that's it. 2s, 3s. One of these 2 is going to be a 3. One of these 2 is going to be a 3. And let's see. I've got 5 possibilities for a 3 here. 3 possibilities here. 5 possibilities here. A bunch of them here. Looks like it's 5. So on to 4s. Get a 4 here and here, and it's like the 8 earlier. We get a 4. No, we don't get a 4 there. E. No, Z. So one of these 3 is going to be a 4. here we've got 3 possibilities for 4. Here we've got 3 possibilities. Everything's open up here. 7 possibilities. 3 possibilities here and here. And again, 7 possibilities here. Okay, 5s. One of these two is a 5. We've got 3 possibilities here. One of these 3 will be a 5. That means I've got 2 possibilities for a 5 there. 2 possibilities for a 5 here, and actually just 2 possibilities here, not 3. All right, that helps. 6s. Now we've got a 6 here and up here. That means this is a 6. That means this becomes a 6, and one of these two is a 6. Over here we've got 3 possibilities. I've got 4 possibilities here, 3 possibilities here, and 4 possibilities here. So we'll come back to address those 4s in a little bit. We got a 7 here. One of these 3 will be a 7, but we can cut that down a little bit because one of these 2 is going to be a 7. That means this one can't be a 7 now, so we get 2 possibilities for a 7. Here we've got 2 possibilities for a 7. Down here we've got 5 possibilities. Here we've got 5 possibilities and 3 possibilities here. Coming back to that in a bit, 8, we've got 2 possibilities for an 8 here. We get an 8 here, which knocks this 8 out. I get to clear that. That becomes an 8, and one of these, this one becomes an 8. That becomes a 1. That seems to be the easiest way to clear it, is if you know what it's going to be. All right. Anything else? I think that's an 8 in every cell now. Yes, it is. All right, we've got 2 possibilities for a 9. 4 possibilities here. 2 possibilities here already marked. We got those earlier. 3 possibilities here. And everything's open for a 9 here. Here we've got 4 possibilities as well. All right, we ended up with a singleton 3 here. So that takes care of that. Does that help up here any? Not enough. One of these 3, 2 is going to be a 3. How about a 4? Do we get any help with that? Not enough. I got 3 possibilities for a 4 here at the moment. So that means we're down to 2 possibilities for a 4 here. 2s, we got 2 possibilities. This one's going to be a 2. Because got a 2 up here. One of these will be a 2, so one of these is going to be a 2 over here. So that has to be a 2. Got 3 4s. And one of these 2 is now going to be a 7. That means we get a 7 in here, and this becomes a 7. That becomes, it's cleared. Does that help any else? No. And we still have 3 possibilities for 3 here. 2 possibilities for 3 here, though. And we get those 2 possibilities there. And here, we've got 3, 4, 5 possibilities for 3. However, nope, it doesn't help. Sorry. Thinking I might be able to make something of that. How about 4s? Do we get any useful information out of this? I still have 3 possibilities for 4 here. We're down to 2 possibilities for 4 down here. No help over here. Still have 5 possibilities. Still have 3 possibilities here. 3 possibilities. Oh no, we're down to single possibilities here because both of these block out these 2. All right, that helps up here. We now have 2 possibilities for 4 there. We still have 3 possibilities here, though. So 3 possibilities here, and 4 or 5 possibilities down here. All right, how about 5s? I think, nope, we don't have 5s everywhere. We do have earmarks almost everywhere, but not quite. Still have 3 possibilities for a 5 here that aren't marked. 5 here. So those 2 are still a possibility. And over here, those 2 and these 2. Those 2 as well. So that's it for 5s at the moment. 6s, well, I know that one of these 3 is a 6. That doesn't help me enough. Over here, we do get a little bit of help. One of these 3 will be a 6, or 2 will be a 6. Still have 3 possibilities here. 2 possibilities here, and 3 here. If I could narrow this down to 2 of these 4, that would be a big help. It's not happening yet. 7s, we've still got 2 earmarked there, 2 earmarked here. 2 possibilities here, because we got these 2 7s, say none of these can be 7. All right, one of these 3 is a 7. 2 earmarked here already, and that means we've got 4 possibilities over here. 8s are taken care of. 9s, 9s look to be in good shape as well. Kind of tough to place them here and here. Okay, we actually can do some here, because now one of these 2 will be a 9, because I have to put one in this column, and none can go in here, so we're down to 2 possibilities here. Up here, we still have 2 there. We've got 3 possibilities here. 2 down here, and 4 possibilities here. All right. I am thinking I can now go to flooding, but let's see if I have to. So the ones I'm missing here are 1s and 3s. One of these 2 gets to be a 3, so that's a 1. 2, 1. That means that can't be a 3, so that's a 3. Okay, that makes this a 9, this a 3, a 7. So one of these 3 is going to be a 4. No, 4's here. One of these 3 is going to be a 1. I don't know which yet, but we get a little bit more. One of these 3 is going to be a 4. And let's see. We got 6s and 2s marked here. We get a 1. This is going to be, this is not a 2. There goes that reason why I like automatically clearing the earmarks if I can get them. So this one can't be a 2 now, so that's a 2, and this becomes a 5. That makes this one down here a 5, which means this is a 5, this is not. Still have 4 and 9 here. Not a 5 here. Let's see, what do we get here? 1, 2, 3. 3 possibilities on 4. We got a 5. 2 possibilities for 6. 3 possibilities for 7. All right. All right, up here we've got the 9s. We get to solve a 1 now. That means I've got 2 possibilities for a 1 here, but this is it. One of these 2 will be a 1. One of these two is going to be a 1 now. 1 and 2 means this is a 5. That's not a 5 now. That becomes a 5, not a 5. 1 here. Don't know what this one's going to be yet. However, this one becomes a 6. That makes this a 2 and a 7, so that becomes a 9. That help anything else? Possibly. We'll see in a moment here. 1, 2, 3. We get 4 and 4. 5. 6s. We get 2 possibilities for a 6 here, which goes up here to make that a 6. This becomes a 3, and that becomes a 4. All right, this can't be a 3 anymore, so that's a 3, and that's a 9. One of these two now becomes our 9, so that can't be it. That's a 9. That becomes a 4, and we get a 7 in one of these two places. That means this over here is a 7. This is not. This is a 7. One of these two is a 4. One of these two is a 4. We've got one of these two is a 4. That doesn't pair up with any of these, so this is a triple that we've got to work with, in a sense. Over here, we've got one of these two. This one's going to be a 2, so that's a 9, not a 6, a 9. That's the advantage of not auto-clearing, is that 6 did not clear those two. All right, 9, 9. So this becomes a 9, not a 9 here. We get 4s and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6s here. Down here we get a 3. Fill that one, so that becomes a 4, that's a 3, that's a 4, that's a 6. Not clear the 7. That's a 7, that's a 6. We get a 7 and 4 here. This becomes a 2 and a 1 here. And up here we get a 4 and a 6 here, for a solve time of 15 minutes and 15 minutes 14 seconds. And that should be it for today. So having a static earmark doesn't really slow me down too much, a little bit. Just had to be aware that I have to manually clear them or make use of the spaces when it is obvious that one will be in use. I want to say thanks for everybody who joined. I hope you had enjoyed this puzzle, these two puzzles. They look like they are good puzzles to play with, to learn from, and I hope you had a good time. Take care, everybody, and bye-bye.